Hi Zulily fans, I'm Ben and I'm here today to talk to you, or talk with my friend Chris Fontenot from Cajun Life, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about his products.
Thanks for having me.
Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about Cajun Life and kind of what we're going to do here today?
Sure, yeah. So I'm originally from South Louisiana, from Eunice, Louisiana, a little small town in the middle of nowhere. Through my corporate job, eventually moved to Oregon, where about 5 years ago we started Cajun Life. It started really as of, because all the friends as we moved, my wife and I moved to North Louisiana, and then from North Louisiana to North Carolina here. And each time we moved, we would cook for all of our new circle of friends. And every time we cooked, people were like, you have to sell this stuff. And I'm like, dude, you're crazy, we're not gonna sell this stuff. So fast forward, we moved to Oregon, and food carts are a big deal here.
Absolutely.
So we decided, why not launch a food cart? We'll see what happens, we'll test the market. So we did that Friday nights and Saturdays, and we had people driving for hours to come get our food. We'd sell out nearly every weekend. Eventually,
that says a lot because there's big food cart
culture
down there in Portland.
Yeah. About a year after we launched, not quite a year, people kept asking us for seasoning or something they could use at home, and we kickstarted and we got our first seasoning launched. Eventually grew to 4 restaurants in the Portland area, 2 carts and 2 brick and mortars, and expanded our line. So we'll talk about it a little bit today, but we have 9 total blends and mixes now. We have even more coming on the way.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so about 5 years we've been doing this now.
That's awesome. So yeah, I think one of the things I'd like to do today is maybe see a little bit, see some cooking in action. Maybe you can kind of show us how we can incorporate that spices in. So I think we have some mac and cheese that you're going to show us.
We're going to make a super easy mac and cheese. Actually,
I love super easy. Yeah.
Originated in one of the restaurants, became one of our best sellers, and it's very simple, just a few ingredients.
Cool. So why don't you walk us through kind of what the ingredients are and what's all needed in this?
So what we have is basically a third of a stick of butter. We have 2 cups of heavy cream. We got about 1.5 cups of Parmesan and 2 to 3 tablespoons of the all-purpose seasoning.
Okay.
You can go heavier than that depending on how much spice level you like, but usually 2 to 3 is spot on for what people want from a spice level. We're going to do it pretty basic today and keep it with just the mac and cheese.
Okay.
But you can add in whatever you want for sure. I mean, it's mac and cheese.
You can get I always throw a little bit of broccoli in. I'm kind of a weirdo that way, but you can always get personalize it a little bit, right?
You can add, So one of the things we do, I'm just going to get that melted.
Yeah.
One of the things we often do is we do a blackened chicken with it.
Oh, fantastic.
So basically all you need is a little bit of olive oil, about the same, about 2 tablespoons worth of the blackening rub. Just coat it on there, and what you want to do is just a high heat, so a little bit of olive oil and probably super
You're really
high
just
heat.
like charring the outside of it. Yep.
Yep. You can be about 2 to 3 minutes per side.
Okay.
And then I always finish in the oven, or if you're grilling that day, you just fire up the grill. But finish it in the oven, of course, make sure you're up to 165 or higher. I highly recommend everybody to get a digital thermostat, or thermometer, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Because with chicken in particular, you can dry out.
Yes.
So if you probe that bad boy, as soon as it hits 165, you're good to go.
Popping it out.
It's going to be perfectly juicy, nice charred finish to it. Just dice it up, serve it right on top of this, and you have like a full-fledged meal at that point.
Awesome. I mean, we're coming into the holiday season, so we're all going to be entertaining, maybe short on time. So you mentioned chicken, but I think we could probably do something like that with a little bit of turkey as well.
You can, yeah. So one of the things that I do, in fact, I just made it a few days ago, is I use a chicken as well. So like year-round. And what I do is you take just basically what we got here. We got a stick of butter, melt it down. Same thing, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of our blackening or the all-purpose rub.
Okay.
I often combine the two because I like to do that. Why not?
The little flavor combo.
Yeah, the flavor combo when you combine the two. Just whisk it up. Make sure you get it all mixed together. And then if you have like an injector, you'll just want to just make sure it's mixed, suck it in, and then inject it under the skin. Just right on the skin.
Yep.
I'm Cajun, so I
like it a little extra spicy.
I like a little extra, so I put a little more, but then I also inject the meat. So I actually go through a lot more butter, and a lot more seasoning. And then to finish it, you take another stick of butter. So really throw the butter in there.
There's no such thing as too much butter.
There's not. Same thing. Stick of butter, 2 to 3 tablespoons of the all-purpose, and literally just coat the bird on top. And then whether turkey or chicken, as it's cooking about every half hour, baste it. Because what's going to happen is all that butter and seasoning is going to start coming out. And it's going to make this nice gravy on the bottom of the pan that as you're basting it just keeps enhancing the flavors.
Oh, that's awesome. And Thanksgiving is all about gravy, right? You got to have a good gravy when you're mixing that up.
It's a perfect gravy base. So once the bird is done, just take all those drippings, pour it in a pan, add a little bit of flour to it, boil it, and you're gonna have a perfect brown gravy every single time.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder too, we have, as for our Facebook Live viewers today, we actually have these spices on sale. You can follow the link that's in the video here. It'll take you to it, get kind of like an advanced view of the bundles that we have on there. You can try some of the various spices. We've talked about a couple of them, but there's, how many total different spice packages do you have there?
Yeah, we have, I think there's about 9 right now on the site. Wow. So there's different bundles, everything from just the rubs to just the mixes. If you're like a super seafood person, we've got seafood bundles there. There's chicken bundles, so you've got the 2 chicken mixes, or the chicken mixes, the chicken rub. The beauty about all these products is they're super easy to use. They're designed to not mess up. They're complex blends, so you can add, and you're not going to get salt buildup, so they're lower sodium.
That's always good.
Especially compared to a lot of our competitors who are out there that are super high. That's basically salt, just all salt. Ours are low sodium, but you don't get the buildup. So as you add it, it's just going to get spicier. So if you don't like spicy, just don't add as much.
Yeah.
But also don't use salt and pepper in addition to. These are designed to be standalone.
Just by themselves.
By themselves.
Okay.
We have, turn that down before we burn our butter there.
Brown our butter.
Let's just go ahead and add the Parmesan. So basically what will happen is, and the cream, and you see this is literally all we're going to do. It's that easy.
Simple and easy is great, especially we're coming home from work during the week. It's always tough to think of what are we going to do tonight for dinner, that sort of a combination. So this is super simple fix for that.
Super simple. Now I'm not going to measure it out, but just know it's 2 to 3 tablespoons.
Okay.
You'll just take the all-purpose, and you basically just add it in there.
Like you said, if we want it spicier, we can add a little bit more.
You just add more. Or add, if it's too spicy, you can add less. The thing about this recipe is really it's a base, right?
Yeah.
So oftentimes, if I want to change things up, and even if you check out the site, it shows sort of the alterations of this, the different versions of it. You can start this with sauteing sausage, so your favorite sausage. I personally love a hot pork sausage. Dice it up, saute it in place of the butter because it's going to make its own.
It's going to have
its own grease.
Yep.
Once it's done, then you just add your ingredients and you do the same thing. So the
cheese,
the butter. Yep. Stir it up and serve it with your noodles. Super easy.
Wow, easy is always good. And again, going back to the holiday season, just short on time. So easy is always a wonderful little trick. If you really are, we're going to show you some of these little recipes that we're going to do today incorporating the spices. If you like it, want to share with a friend, remember that tag a friend on the video, let them know what you're seeing today, kind of learn a little bit more about the product. And you never know, there might be a surprise in it for sharing. So yeah, as we're kind of letting this melt down a little bit, we'll up the heat here and kind of stir this up.
One thing you want to be careful with, it is Parmesan, right? So if you turn the heat up too high, it's going to start sticking. So you need to find sort of that medium high to get it melting. And then once you get that, you just basically wait till the cheese is completely melted. And we'll show you how to finish it up in just a second. But usually what I do is I put the noodles boiling. Like first thing I do, get your water boiling.
Kind of prepping them a little ahead of time.
And then once you drop the noodles in the water, start this.
Gotcha.
Because by the time the noodles are al dente, this is also going to be done. So, noodles take what, 10 minutes, 8 minutes al dente? 8 to 10 minutes, complete finished meal.
That's fantastic. One of the other things too that I love to do with spice combos and stuff is side dishes or maybe snacks. We're coming into the winter months. It gets a little bit colder. My movie viewing and sort of streaming video time goes up, I've found. Are there any things that we can do kind of with the spices? Maybe like
popcorn.
Popcorn. Yeah.
So one of the first things we learned about our seasonings, the all-purpose, when we launched it, was people use it on popcorn. And of course, I had to try it because I hadn't done that yet.
Absolutely.
I didn't think about popcorn when we designed these. And it is phenomenal. So get your favorite popcorn. If you're doing just microwavable popcorn, pop it, but immediately toss it in because you need the butter to catch it.
To melt.
Shake. And then you're good to go. If you're doing it like on the stove, What I've learned with that is you need to add it just before they start popping. So when that first kernel pops, add your seasoning, and then they'll pop together. Because once they start, they're going to get going quick. But if you do it before, you're going to burn the seasoning because that oil gets so hot. You're going to burn the seasoning. I've tried it many ways, and trust me, when the first two or three kernels start popping, add the seasoning. I usually do, when you do it that way, I usually do about 2 tablespoons seems to be like the going rate, right, for all the recipes that I create.
Kind of that sort of, would you say
it's
that's
a really good middle ground. It's not spicy. It's just perfectly blended. Of course, if you want it spicy, they're designed to go spicier. But they're really meant for like an everyday household because we know Cajun's on the name. Don't let that scare you. They're designed to have the complexities of Cajun food. And if you want the spiciness, you can get that out of these.
Really up it.
You just up it, but you don't have to have it. It's replacing salt and pepper. All of these are replacing what you would normally have in your cabinet into just 5 blends, basically. You need 9 blends if you count the mixes.
That's fantastic.
And you can't really screw them up. That's the beauty of it. Salt and pepper, you can definitely screw up. I've had a number of steaks that had way too much of one or the other. So.
Oh, for sure. I can get a little heavy-handed with the black pepper myself. You
can get heavy-handed.
A little bit too much on that.
These, they because of the ingredients we have in there, have sort of an orange tint to them, so it's really easy to see exactly how much you're using. Black pepper on a steak and salt, you'd be like, oh, did I season that section of the steak? I don't know. These we were talking about earlier. You can coat these, let them sit, and dry rub kind of thing. The blackening is phenomenal on a steak.
That's one of my favorite things to do. My family has a beef cattle ranch down in New Mexico. And we eat a lot of good meat, a lot of good beef, and dry rubs is definitely the way that I always do my steak on the grill. Just one of my favorite ways to prepare that. The blackening
started at the restaurant, so we started doing po' boys, and people wanted a blackened po' boy.
Love a good po' boy.
So one of the things that came of that was the blackening rub, of course, and then we did the fish fry for fried shrimp po' boys. Same thing, so we talk about the mixes real quick. The mixes, they're like shake, put your meat in a bag with this stuff and shake, and fry. I mean, they're that easy to use. A seafood boil, for those who do full-on boils, if you're in the South, you know what a crawfish boil is. If you're in the Northeast, usually you're doing crabs and
we do a lot. I mean, we're in the Great Northwest here. We got a lot of seafood. We do a lot of the seafood boils as well. Not quite the same as down there in the South, but
this stuff is so good. So the seafood boil, you just add it to water, add your meat. We do a lot of shrimp at our house. So shrimp, you just drop it in the water, literally boil it for shrimp. So it takes 2 minutes, and there'll be this nice red color, just super flavorful, super delicious.
Excellent. And just a reminder to you guys too that the bundles are, you can follow the link in the video. We have the bundles on site for our Facebook Live viewers in advance of the sale that's going on tomorrow. The bundles start at around $8.99. They incorporate, you can get all of one spice if you really like it. If you want to try kind of an assortment, we have those out there for you as well. So make sure that you check out that link and click through. Kind of see what else is available.
Yeah, I'm going to get a little crazy because we have bacon already chopped here, so why not, right? So one of the things we have here is we have some chopped bacon. I normally finish with it, but because we're not doing a protein today, we're going to just sprinkle a little bit of that, give it a little smoky flavor.
The best part about bacon is, right, that really rich smokiness that you get to come along with it.
Why not?
Yeah, get a little extra in there.
Yeah, and like I said, we, even adding bacon to it, I like blackened chicken, so I would still do a blackened chicken, slice it up, and just serve it on top. We don't have any today, but it's so good. So this is pretty much melted. So obviously we have these ready, but so these have already been done.
These are our al dente noodles.
So here's the beauty of this too, is that with noodles, you can do these ahead of time. So you're going to be short on time, cook these ahead of time, put them in the fridge.
Yep.
And once the sauce is hot, right? So it's just going to add 2 minutes to your cook time. Let me see if I can do this without dropping everything, right? Just literally add it to. So these are basically out of the fridge. They've already cooked them.
Yep.
And
maybe you have a little extra from the night before or something like that.
Yeah, if you have a little extra, you're like, what do we do? We always have extra noodles at our house because I never know how much to put in the pot, and I always end up with too much. This is
cook a whole box, and I'm like, I
you can do with that. Yep. So literally just mix it in.
Well, it looks so good. You can kind of see the bacon mixing in there.
So good.
Super simple recipe. I'm always looking for a nice little shortcut Well, I do oftentimes bake my mac and cheese as well. Is there like a difference that you would do between the two? Or
yeah, so baking mac and cheese takes a little long. It takes about an hour and a half.
Okay.
You can actually probably do a version of this. I would probably recommend like a white cheddar though in that case, just because it's a slower melt.
For sure.
And but same basic technique. So you basically just get a 9x13 pan, layer of your noodles already cooked. Now, one of my aunts used to just do it not cooked, and she'd let it cook. I never could get it right, so I don't recommend that for everybody because I always
just one of her
crunchy noodles.
Her secrets.
She was able to do it, but yeah, you just add your heavy cream, add some white cheddar. For that size, you're probably looking at closer to 2 cups of shredded white cheddar on that one.
Okay.
And bake it for about an hour and a half. You want the milk and the cream to basically cook. Once they're cooked, then it gets a nice golden brown layer on top. Just before it's like done, you can add bacon, you can add breadcrumbs. I add breadcrumbs.
Okay.
And a little bit of butter, and then finish it off, and perfect.
You got a nice little, wonderful little side dish here.
Yeah.
Or even a main dish, like you said with the blackened chicken.
You add chicken. You add a protein. You can add whatever protein you like. We eat a lot of chicken. Chicken, turkey. If you have extra little turkey, Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, exactly. Turkey. We're gonna have a ton of
Chop
extra
it up,
turkey.
Throw it in here instead of the bacon, or add it with the bacon. It means bacon.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with bacon.
So we're gonna call this done. So basically done, right? So we're just gonna grab a bowl real quick, and we're gonna finish it off.
That looks delicious.
I'm not a pretty plating chef kind of guy. I just plate, right? One of the things we did in my restaurant, we cooked it, we served it the way I would eat it at home, and that doesn't mean it's pretty. I'm gonna grab a little bacon here.
Finish it off.
Finish it. Bam.
That
done.
Looks delicious.
And if you're really adventurous, like a lot of people are, you can just give it some color.
Extra pinch.
I like a little extra.
Finish it off there.
Voila. 10 minutes. I mean, I don't know how long it took us, but we're
awesome.
talking.
So yeah, we've shown you guys kind of how to do quick and easy mac and cheese with some of our. This was your all-purpose seasoning.
This is all-purpose seasoning. Yep. Chef's got to taste stuff, right? Oh yeah.
Always. Before you serve that out, right?
Guys, little extra for the chef. You guys, you're gonna have to try that. That's good. Let me get this off. Oh, that's good. I forgot how good it is.
Okay, so I think we're also going to do another side for you guys today. We're actually going to do a very southern classic, right?
Yeah. Hushpuppies.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your mixes here.
Yeah. So the mixes, like I said, we kind of talked about a little bit earlier. They're pre-seasoned, pre-floured, ready to go. All you have to do is, make sure whatever meat you're using is a little wet, a little damp, and get another bowl or a bag, stick them in there, shake them till they're coated.
Okay.
Depending on how much you're doing, like with the chicken, I like to double coat. So I use an egg wash. You can use an egg wash, and I think we actually recommended on the directions to do an egg wash and then dip it. So basically a little bit of milk, egg, whisk, stir, but then you just mix. Don't add anything else. If you add anything else, particularly on the chicken, you're going to get it too spicy. Like a lot of people buy these mixes
thinking that you need to add a little extra. Yeah.
Do not add any more. They'll be perfectly seasoned every single time. If you add more and you're spice adverse, you're going to be in for a little bit of a awakening. It's going to wake you up for sure.
Little kick in the butt there.
Yeah. So we're going to do the Hushpuppies here, and so these are super easy. Hushpuppies from scratch can be very complicated. You can screw them up pretty easily.
I don't know if I've ever successfully made one from scratch, to be honest with you.
I have, but it added a lot of trial and error. So basically, just a pouch, right? This one takes
whole package.
Whole package. This one takes a little bit of prep time, but not too much. You talked about Netflixing earlier and getting your binges on. You can do this while watching something, right?
Sure.
So basically, just add it. You'll need an egg. So just get an egg. We'll add that in there. Just toss this back here real quick. And buttermilk. So you need about 1.25 cups of buttermilk to go in here. And I do this, so I know roughly how much we're doing here.
Yeah. You've made this.
I've made it a few
plenty
times.
of times, I would imagine.
Yeah, just a few. And then we're gonna get a whisk, and literally just whisk it up, right? You want to make sure everything is nice and wet.
Blend it, yeah.
Otherwise, you get these little dry pockets, and they don't fry very well.
No, they do not. It's almost like a kind of not quite runny consistency, but almost like a cookie batter kind of.
Cookie batter is a really good way to look at it. Yep. So you can see right here, we have sort of it's thick, but it's cookie batter. That's actually a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
Cookie batter. Now here's where you'll have to get your programming ready. It takes about a half hour because it's dough, so it needs to rise.
Yep.
So once you get you get it mixed, and just make sure it's mixed. There's no over stirring. You can, but you You don't need to overstir. You just make sure everything's nice and moist and wet. I don't like to use that word because a lot of people don't like that word. Let it sit for half an hour minimum. You can let it go longer. So if you're like really into something, don't worry, it can sit. Sure, it's just going to rise a little more. Yeah. Eventually, it's going to stop, and you're good to go. You can put it in the fridge as well while you're
So you can do it overnight or something like that.
It's going to rise. And then once the dough is risen, so we had some already risen because
we kind of prepped it a little bit ahead of time.
You want to make sure your oil is around 300 degrees. So if you have like one of those electric skillets that you can control the temperature, those are perfect for these because you can set the temperature to 300.
And just let it go. We're doing it
I use cast iron.
Yeah, we use cast iron.
I have a wall of cast iron at my house that are people think is decoration, but they're active. We like use those pots. So basically, all you can do. I don't know if we're hot yet here. We're gonna do a little test while you talk.
So what other kind of mixes you have? Is this the all-purpose that you have mixed here? Is there different kind of flavors?
Yes.
Or what are the different?
So they're different. So these are pre-designed for their purposes. So unlike the all-purpose and the blackening, which are kind of universal, the rubs are very specific. So we have a seafood rub, a chicken rub, and then a mesquite barbecue rub. So obviously they have very specific purposes.
Yeah.
The mesquite barbecue is really good on peanuts, by the way, or like right now, pumpkin
peanuts.
Seeds.
Oh, really? So how do you kind of do that? You mix it?
So however you normally roast your pumpkin seeds, just use the mesquite barbecue on it. It's so good when you bake them. You get that sweetness and that savory. So good. And then we have the chicken fry. I have a friend that I cooked these when we were in test mode. We hadn't launched them yet, and we were getting close to the final recipes and tested them. He's like, dude, what is this stuff? Like, I need you to cook more of this. And I was like, well, they're coming soon. So they're good. I will admit they're a little on the spicier side, but with it, the flavors are so complex and they just kind of come together nicely that you forget you're eating. One of the things we had at the restaurants, people were like, I don't eat Cajun food because it's too spicy. I'm like, just try our food. Without fail, they'd be like, I don't eat spicy food, but I can't stop eating this stuff. That's kind of how our stuff is designed.
That's a pretty strong endorsement there.
It's pretty good. I don't have a tip. We're gonna go with that. So basically, once it's risen, you get around 300 degrees.
And while that's heating up too, just a reminder, guys, we have the bundles. For our Facebook Live viewers today, just click on the link on the side of the video here. They start around $8.99. You can get some of the rubs. You can get the all-purpose seasoning. We have the premixes for the Hushpuppies. All of those are available. Just want to make sure that you guys take advantage of that sort of advanced screening that we're having for y'all. Ooh, it looks like it's already starting to.
Close. Yeah. I'll test it out. So obviously, the really good way to do this is you have like an ice cream scoop.
Yep.
Or like a rice scoop, you just pop them in there.
Yep.
We're going to use
melon
this,
baller.
Yeah. So these are, you want to get like ball size, however size you want. You can use a tablespoon of it. You can use, like I'm doing kind of big ones. So these won't be as pretty, but if you're going for pretty.
Yeah, if you're going for the aesthetic appeal, ice cream scoop would be the way.
Cajun, I don't go, I just want to eat it. I want the good stuff. I don't care what it looks like.
Dive in and get that delicious little hush puppy going.
That's right.
Cool.
And these take about, you want to watch them, especially if you are not, we don't know the temp here. So what you want to do here is just make sure, you just want to make sure that they're golden brown. So they take about 2 to 3 minutes roughly.
Okay.
So we'll let them go for a little bit, and then we'll flip them, and then they'll be ready to roll.
We should see that nice little crunchy brown exterior.
Crunchy golden brown. Yep.
Sweet. And if you guys are interested or want to share maybe some of the recipes and tips and tricks that we've learned from Chris today, remember to tag a friend, and there might be a little surprise in that for you.
One of the beauties about the size that we created. So these are 1 pound bags. So this makes a lot of food, right?
It seems like it would. Yes.
Same thing with the cans. They're 8-ounce cans.
Okay.
They're designed to have multiple uses. So an average household is going to use about 1 to 2 tablespoons, or 1 to 2 ounces per meal.
Of the spices
on the lighter side. I'm a heavy user, so I go through a lot faster. But of the spices, so you can cook like a lot of meals out of these cans. You get a lot of cooking out of it.
We've already kind of talked about a couple of different options you can do with it too. Like it's not just in the mac and cheese. You can do it on meats or seafoods.
However you use salt and pepper, like for the all-purpose in specific. However you use salt and pepper, you can use this in its place.
One of my favorite things to do is sweet potato fries. I kind of moved over to sweet potatoes as my kind of like staple fry combo there. Seems like this would be a pretty good way to finish those off.
Oh, definitely. We have a ton of people who use it on fries. In fact, I was telling you earlier, we have restaurants who use our products, and one in particular recently was using the all-purpose on their fries as a way to kind of spice it up. He tried changing it to another one, and customers complained. Right within a week, they noticed.
They could tell.
They noticed the difference, and basically he called me. He's like, "Is there any way you can give me some today?" And I was like, "Well, I can get you some today," because he's a local guy, so I was able to give it to him. But yeah, French fries, phenomenal one.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's just one of my favorite little snacks. You know, making burgers, grill. I always do it with the salt or sweet potato fries.
Sweet potato fries, yeah. It's. I'll tell you that these are just. I'm gonna grab that plate over there from you.
Sure.
Because these are pretty much.
You don't want to just grab one of those with your bare hands.
I mean, you're a manly man. You can grab that if you want to, but I am not. So basically, here you go. You just want to make sure
nice
they're golden
brown.
And when you use, we use, because we're using a smaller skillet here, but when you use, a full-size skillet, they're going to be more of like a ball, especially if you're using like a
melon baller or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They'll come out, like I said, I'm Cajun. I don't care how it looks. I just want it to taste good.
Yeah, they do look delicious.
Yeah, so we'll
let those cool for a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, don't
bite into the hot oil.
Here, I'll make it pretty like a real chef, right?
Look at that.
Boom.
Finish it with a little.
I don't have any parsley or anything, but I would normally throw it in there.
Awesome.
So basically, yeah, I mean, you got starters right there. We use those as appetizers a lot. You can use them as side dishes. We've got main dish here that you could, or base that you could use in a multitude of ways. That's, what we did, 4 ingredients basically.
And we've got, like you said, there's kind of a variety of uses, a variety of different flavors that you can do. I'm really interested in trying that mesquite barbecue now. That stuff always good. So if you guys are interested in, trying some of these, taking them home with you, we have, again, the bundles are on sale right now in advance for you guys on our Facebook followers. Just check out the link on the side of the video. Bundles are starting at $8.99. Yeah, Chris, anything else you'd like to, mention to our fans today?
Yeah, don't be scared that it's Cajun. That's one of the things that, Cajun has a stigma behind it. It's spicy stuff. This is not spicy. Think about your aunt, your uncle who's like, oh, New Orleans food, like I've got to have it. We've done that for you in a can.
That's awesome.
If you want it spicy, it can be spicy, but you're really just going to get the complexity.
It's a flavorful.
That's flavorful.
That's what you're going for.
I like to say for those who are a little more spice adverse, like if you want it spicy, our blends are spicy with purpose. There's a difference between biting into jalapeno and making your dish spicy with our seasoning. Like you're going to get a complex flavor profile that will offset the spiciness that you might catch from it versus jalapeno where it's hot.
It's just right there.
It's right there. Yep. So spice with purpose.
Cool. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Again, my name is Ben. This is Chris Fontenot from the Cajun Life. Happy cooking, and if you guys, maybe you have your own favorite recipes that you want to share with us. So don't be afraid to add the comments to the video. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again.
Thanks.